Alright, so this one is gonna be a bit different. So this is me from the future, and the video you're about to see is me after taking a few lessons and being like really sick for several weeks time. That's why I look like shit in this video section. So basically I'm just going to go through all that I've been doing during this period where I took some lessons, I was really sick, just tried to going through what I was able to muster during this period. So this did not really go as planned with all my short vlogs and everything that I thought I would be doing. But yeah, so if you're interested, this is kind of like my total breakdown of both a few lessons that I have, but mostly of my day doing the Risk 1 and Risk 2 educations here in Sweden. So yeah. So I'll leave it to my poor old sick self. Alright, so this is kind of like my, I guess, vlog or journal of the day. So I just like an hour ago or so came back from my Risk 1 and Risk 2 education, and I think I talked about this a bit before, but Risk 1 is basically half a day with risk theory, and Risk 2 is basically, well, the afternoon today with more practical applications of how to think about different situations. So I'm trying to go through what we actually did today. Since I did not film any of it, so I've been like sick for a couple of weeks. It hasn't been I haven't really felt up to the whole filming part. I have taken a couple of lessons during this time, but it's been like just some trying to remember stuff from 6 years ago, like road, like placement on the road, turning. I've had very many issues with especially like close turns, like small turns, like very tight turns. So it's basically been a lot about just getting a feel for the bike and trying to remove all the kind of safety things in my head, which kind of hinders me from actually, wanting to lean the bike or trusting the bike, and so on. So I feel like that is coming back a bit, which is very good. So today, let's go through it. So Risk 1, or Risk 1, as we say, is theory. And what we did today was basically we went through some statistics. So basically how many accidents on motorcycles there are, how many of them are fatal, what kind of accidents are they, like the most common ones are right turns and you basically going into the opposite lane and getting hit by oncoming traffic. So yeah, that's like number one cause of death here in Sweden. And I think the second most common one was doing a left turn and going just straight into like a barrier or just going off the road. So there was some lot of statistics and kind of how to think in those situations and how to avoid those with the right placement and planning your riding and slowing down mostly common sense, and do not, I guess, don't have hubris or think too much of your abilities. Just try to slow down and adapt to the situation at hand, and always kind of be prepared for what might come around the corner, and try to safely as possible. Try to find a line where you have as much sight as possible, or try to create like a good line of sight through the curve. Yeah, so everything sounds pretty easy in theory, but then when we applied it on the afternoon, it was a bit trickier than I thought. Okay, but to continue on risk 1, we also did some exercises. At first they were mostly as familiarities, just getting to know the other guys in the group, and then we did some exercises where we listed, yeah, we might have done this before the statistics actually, but because we had to list like the 10 things, 10 most likely things that causes accidents. So on that list we put like alcohol and drugs and wild animals and tiredness and mechanical failures and all of the other stuff that I said about, like planning ahead and being observant and basically just trying to drive defensively. So we were basically like in 2 groups, one group of 4 and my group of 3. And so we did these exercises and we compared the different groups, and then we discussed around it and why we put those things. And then the next task was to rank the 10 things that we put on the list in order, which we thought was most common and most dangerous. And then we discussed around that. So yeah, that was good exercises as well. It's good to hear different people's perspective on things, because everyone has kind of a different view on different things and what they have heard or their own experiences and so on. So very good exercises, I feel. We also, after this, we kind of did so there was some more slides and theory and statistics, and then we did another exercise which was basically how would we plan, or what we would do differently if we did like a very short kind of local trip, or like more like a Euro trip, like down through Europe. And so we tried to list some things that we thought we'd do different, and keeping in mind that everything's about safety and risk assessment these days, or this day. We basically thought that for the short one, mostly we would just look out the window, see if it's good weather, maybe call a friend, probably take a lighter setup, maybe do a fast like check of the bike and then just go and meet up and so. But of course, if you're gonna go on a longer trip like a Euro trip, then you have to do a lot more planning, you have to pack, you have to have a lot of things with you. Probably you want to service your bike before to make sure that it's in perfect condition. You probably have better and more safe gear on you, and probably if you're gonna ride with others, it's good to have a plan for where you're gonna stop and where you're gonna meet up if people kind of get lost or drags behind along the way. So all of these things are kind of good to just get you thinking about stuff, and like I said, listening to others' perspectives. So I felt like the day went very fast, even the theoretic part, which usually can feel a bit long, especially since I've done this before. But I feel like they did it a lot different this time, because I didn't really, of course the statistics is always there, but felt like the exercises, I don't remember we doing those the last time, but not, at least not the same kinds. But yeah, okay, so rounding off what we did on the morning. So also we talked about gear and what kind of gear is necessary here in Sweden, what's the law, and then what you actually have to have while I keep forgetting what to call like the final test you do in English, because we call it uppkörningen, which is basically just driving up. So basically just us driving these two test courses, like I said, the slow speed one and the high speed one, and then you have to go out on the road and you have to show the teacher that you know what you're doing, that you can plan ahead and drive safely and have good placement and control of the bike. So we have like special rules for that day when we do the final test, and those are actually, funnily enough, kind of harder, or not harder, but like it's a bigger requirement than the law in Sweden say. So yeah, that's kind of funny, but basically you just have to have all the gear and everything has to be CE approved. So yeah, safety, and it's good. I don't mind it. Of course, we already have like that gear, so that's no problem. Most of it is just it gets hot. So today was actually like 25, almost 27 degrees. So with the full get up, the gear in black, with the sun out, this was hot, especially for Swedes. It was a hot day. We were soaked, just drenched in sweat during the afternoon when we were outside. Okay, I'm rambling on, trailing off. Okay, so I think that was actually mostly the morning done with everything we did on the risk one. So yeah, some theory, some statistics, some exercises, everything is concerning safety and risks. And the getting to know you part, kind of. Very good. All right, so then we had lunch, and after lunch some of the people were changed out, so some only did the theoretic part, and some had already done that. So they arrived and did the afternoon with us. So we did a small introduction again for the new people, and then basically we only talked about that we were gonna do turns, and we were gonna try to think about what we were doing, like how did we move physically to get the bike to do what we wanted to do, kind of like we got that like an exercise or like we had to take that with us to try to have that in mind while we were doing the courses, to try to understand why we're doing this and what am I doing and how can I do it better. So, and also we had to like come up with rules for how to act out on the courses. So we were like, I don't know, 8, 9 people, I think, on afternoon. And we have to kind of get along out there. We only have one teacher, so we had to set some like boundaries and rules for how we were gonna respect each other and keep everything safe. So basically we did some also very like common sense things, like try to let someone who's going slower just let them go slow and keep distance, and you know, try to seek eye contact and try to respect each other, and queue up, you know, if there is something that's more dangerous, that only one should be on the course at one time. So yeah, just make a queue and wait for the person in front of you to go or leave the course. So I think that was pretty, that was no problem. Like that worked fine, I felt. Okay, so what did we actually do then on the afternoon? So on the afternoon, I'm sorry, I keep just trailing off when I'm talking. I try to look more at the camera. Okay, so what did we actually do? So firstly, we did this thing. I don't know what that's called in English either. We call it följa John, which is basically you have to follow and do as the first guy do. This is like a kids game, but So basically the teacher went first and all of us just on a line behind him, and we had to follow and do what he did. So we started like doing slow turns, like going like a snake like this, and yeah, we did that quite a lot actually. And then we did like some accelerating and shifting gears and minor brakes, and then we did bigger, like not so tight turns, but bigger turns in higher pace. And then we did, yeah, like standing up on a bike and still driving, and yeah, and we did like very slow. Everything was on asphalt or tarmac. So, but we did this part where we actually went kind of off road. So there was this gravel. Jesus, I was like, what's grus called? Okay, so there was this gravel part right beside the tracks or the courses. So we actually did kind of go out on that and turn around as well, and then through like this ditch of much bigger rocks and stones. That was kind of, yeah, I never did that. Especially we were on like Honda Hornets, so like a naked bike. I never did that with the kind of round, like kind of slick tires. So that was actually, that went fine. I just never done it, so it was pretty exciting. And I think that was like the last thing we did with that part. Then we basically got this course, which was one big circle, but with pretty tight turns. More like an O, I guess. So tight turns at the top and the bottom of the course, and then two pretty long straight lines where on one side you had to do slalom and then break down pretty heavily and do very slow, like really like parking like 4, 5, 6 kilometers an hour, almost like our slow test. And had to zigzag through or around the cones, and then this like 180 curve, and straight after that there's another where you also had to do this kind of zigzag or slalom course, but the cones were more spread out, and you were supposed to do it faster. So that was more like this kind of put down the bike turns back and forth, and then so that's the first part of the straight on the other side, and then the second part you have to accelerate up and then do this kind of how do you call it, undanmanöver. So basically it's trying to simulate if something kind of shows up in your lane, like an animal or a kid or something falling or something. So you kind of have to do this, to avoid it. So yeah, like a avoidance test. I have no idea what this is called. If anyone knows the English word for this, you can put it in the comments below. So yeah, and then you continued on, and then you were supposed to take this another like 180-degree curve, but this one was bigger, and you had to kind of simulate or think that there was opposing traffic. So you had to stay on your side, but still find a good line through the curve, and you have to slow down and brake and shift gears, so everything is done before you actually enter the curve, and then you have to like not accelerate, but kind of have a steady throttle through the curve, and when you can see your way out, you kind of just accelerate out of it, and yeah, and then you're back to the slalom bit, and that we did like lap after lap after lap in one way, and then we took, so we stopped a few times, and the teacher gave us pointers, and then we took a break, and then we did everything again, but the other way around. And after a few laps, we actually removed the slowest part of it. so we got more time to accelerate and try to learn the slalom part in higher speeds, especially like the counter steering part, which I actually think I learned a lot today, because I known about counter steering for 6 years and so on. So I always know how it works, and I never really feel like I actively think about that I'm actually counter steering. It's more like a feeling that I want to go this way, and then the bike goes this way. And I haven't really thought about, yeah, like the exercise was for today. Like, what am I doing? Am I working with the bike or the bike working me? But yeah, I kind of, in the end of the day, I kind of got the whole, because the teacher explained to me that especially for the slalom course, which is part of our high-speed test on the final test day, then you can basically, instead of like in a normal curve, you kind of lean with the bike when you want to turn. In this case, if you just want to quickly slalom between cones, you can basically just counter steer and just keep yourself straight up. So it's only like you're a bit loose in your lower body, or maybe loose in your higher body. So you kind of just use your lower body and counter steering to do this whoop 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 slalom thing, and keep yourself pretty straight up. And when I kind of got that you could do that, that was when I could go really much faster through the cones. Before that, I was struggling doing 50 kilometers an hour, and after that I was doing 60, and it felt like, yeah, that was fine. Like, I could probably go even faster, but I usually since we're so many on the course, so usually I kind of kommer ikapp någon liksom. Yeah, catched up to someone. Yeah, so usually I just catch up to someone, so I kind of had to brake and slow down. And then he did like this kind of thing in the end where suddenly he had put out new cones in the middle of the curve. So we kind of had to react to that while we were in the curve. And I just did like what I would have done in my car, which was swerve past it. And yeah, he wasn't too happy about that, because I was supposed to think about the curve as being with bad vision, like there was a mountain or something. But this was like open and just with cones. So it was kind of hard to imagine that I didn't see through the curve. But yeah, so that was kind of the exercise he thought we would do, but we didn't know that before. So yeah, basically I was supposed to notice the thing in the road and slow down and stop, and kind of see that it was possible to actually pass through on the right side, so on the closest side to the end of the road to my right, and furthest from the traffic in this scenario where we couldn't see through the curve. Yeah, and I kind of understand that when he told us afterwards, okay, so if I had bad vision through the curve, I probably would have not swerved out to the left, which means that I kind of have to go into the other lane. But now there was no traffic and I did see, so yeah, okay, I guess I have to have better imagination. But it was a good test nonetheless. I think many of us learned something from it. So yeah, I definitely felt like from today. I definitely learned a lot about like the whole swerving and zigzagging through cones with counter steering, and finding better lines in like the bigger turns, the bigger curves. So yeah, it was a wonderful day. I mean, it was hot as hell, but yeah, it was wonderful. It was just so much fun. I kind of felt like I just want to do this all again tomorrow. It was so fun. And like I said, this is me that can't, I can't drive privately. I have to drive at school, and it's kind of expensive. So for me to have like this many hours, like 4 hours, maybe more actually, like 4.5 hours of driving the same bike, it was just magical. It was wonderful. So yeah, I felt like I learned a lot and I had so much fun. It was good to kind of have these other people to talk to also. So we kind of could connect and share things and learn from each other, and it was just good to kind of hear how they thought about things and how they did the different turns, and when they used the brake, and which gear they were in, and so on. So I felt like, yeah, it was a very, very educational day. We have to do this in Sweden. This is like mandatory. You have to do this. You have to have passed these tests, both the theoretical and the practical one, to actually be able to take the final test. And there is also a theoretic test, like an exam that you have to do as well, which hopefully I can do next week. I just have to practice a bit more first. But yeah, so yeah, it was a good day, very good day, great day. And I'm actually back on this course now on Friday. I have another lesson planned, so I'm gonna do more of the slow speed exercise and the high speed exercise. The thing, yeah, just kind of practice on those courses that we are going to have to pass on the final test day. If this is not something that you have to do in your country to get a license, I will highly recommend just try to see if there are some like advanced courses or so on to do, because this is just so much fun. You learn so much, and of course you're gonna be a way better driver afterwards with all this in mind. So yeah. Oh right, we did brake tests in the end as well. So we did brake tests at 60, 70, and 80 kilometers an hour, and yeah. So the exercise is basically just accelerate to that speed, and then you get to a couple of cones, and you're gonna have to kind of hit the brakes as hard as you can, but well, not as hard as you can. As hard as you can without activating the ABS. That is the test. So we should use like 90% power on the front brake, 10% on the back brake, and try to have a stable bike, have a stable controlled upper body, vision straight ahead, as always when driving. Just focus on where you're going, and do not look down or on the bike or straight on the road in front of you. Yeah, so we did those tests as well, and I actually asked him if it was okay if I just tested to just hit all the brakes as hard as I possibly could, and use all the ABS and everything, and it was fine. So I did that. That was pretty fun actually. I really pushed the bike, and I felt it was fine. He was like, yeah, but be prepared to maybe fall over, and I was like, okay. But I didn't feel anything like that. It was just okay. I just felt the ABS like bouncing on my foot mostly, and in my hand a bit. But yeah, that was fine. It was pretty fun. But yeah, then I did it again, and I might have hit the front brake a bit hard because I basically did stoppy. So he was like, "Your back tire actually lifted off the ground." And I was like, whoops. Yeah, so I had to do it again. But yeah, I felt like I felt like the braking part was actually pretty funny. So yeah. Oh well, okay. So that was the day. He did some tests where we just had to stay still, and we had to guess where he was gonna stop when he when he used the brake at 80, and it was definitely a longer stop distance than I thought. It's a lot of meters to stop a motorbike going 80. Yes, we talked a bit about that, and how it differs in different speed. Yeah, so we did some of those exercises where he just showed and we had to guess, and then he also did like a speed test where we had to stay still and kind of watch him almost coming straight towards us. We'll kind of straight in front of us, almost like when you're at the crossing and you kind of look right to see if there is someone coming. But I think most of us kind of misunderstood where we were supposed to look, where the kind of breakpoint was, where we were supposed to guess how fast it was going at that point, because most of us said the wrong thing, like way off, which I think wouldn't have happened if we all understood where we were supposed to look. But yeah, many of us were pretty way off either way. That just shows that it's freaking hard to see how fast someone's coming, like far away to your right if you're at the crossing. So it takes like, as we said today, he said it's like 4 or 5 seconds to kind of, if you drive out from where you're standing and onto the road to your left, that's like 4 or 5 seconds. So yeah, with the brake times and everything, if someone's coming like at 140 kilometers an hour from your right, they are definitely gonna hit you if it takes you 5 seconds to go out on the road. So if you're that bike going 140, you really need to slow down, because the people at the crossroads, they have no chance of seeing how fast you're going. There is no way. All right, this was a long one. I just kind of wanted to get everything down while I had it fresh in my mind, and I'll see how much of this I'll cut into some kind of video or not. I mean, I could just put this up, I guess, as well, but I'm not sure how many would actually watch like a 30-minute vlog of me rambling. We'll see. If you're still here, thanks so much for watching, and please like and subscribe and do the other things if you like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.